Instead, they are being told, sit in judgment, decide what to do with Lalit Modi.
Let me again repeat. We are very clear. If there are shortcomings, they are wrong, the BCCI need to take action. If it does not take, the matter shall be raised. But it in no way digresses from the fundamental case of indiscretion, impropriety of a minister. Or no, we have heard about Congress slogan of inclusive growth with equity. But Congress minister's parameter is growth with sweat equity, which is undilutable in perpetuity.
So if Shashi...
A lady having no special qualification, just a minute, let me complete.
So why are you going on about Sunanda Pushkar and avoiding the bigger issue?
The bigger issue is very clear. The bigger issue first and foremost for us is the gross impropriety, unbecoming conduct of a minister government of India. We are raising that. Equally important, if the BCCI wishes to take action, it must take action. It must take action.
Okay.
If Lalit Modi is in the wrong, he should be sacked. But Lalit Modi is not a public servant. He is not a Minister Government of India. Be very clear about it.
Doctor.
Yes. And as far the ND allegation is concerned, let me tell you, please Congress party, don't preach us. If our president was found involved, he was immediately removed.
Well,
unlike the delay you are doing. And even in the House today, they never said, wait for the Prime Minister.
No, but I'm going to say this tonight, and Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you know I'm right. A man who has entered Indian politics a few months back could not have gone so far without serious political backing, maybe from inside your own party or your government, I don't know. Lalit Modi could not have gone so far unless the big bosses in the BCCI, who are now standing in judgment over him, were backing him in whatever the fraud that he was involved in all this while. Now let me ask you this. Is it a matter of propriety or is it a matter of a technical argument? Tharoor has given a technical argument. He says there's nothing to prove on paper that I am making the money, I am making the money. That's what he's saying. So propriety is dead, is it, Dr. Singhvi? This is a technical argument.
I refuse to be. You are Arnab.
No, Dr. Singhvi, are avoiding
like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. I am not
avoiding
going to fall
Dr.
in your trap of getting into the merits. I am not going to prejudge and give you a judgment of the Congress party on the merits, because the Congress party is desisting from doing it either way. It is doing the right thing. It is not going to give you a judgment on television, on your channel. It is going to follow what we have said, and that means that there is something which is going to be looked at. But what the ultimate answer will be, I cannot say today.
Okay, we read your lips for the moment. Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Ravi Shankar Prasad, protagonists and rivals in this debate. We hope there will be finality when we meet again on Monday. Thank you. And coming up on the other side, can we trust those who are standing in a Tharoor and Modi? Impossible to believe that it is. My guest this evening, Swapan Das Gupta, who's been writing extensively about this. Sanjay Jha, founder of cricketnext.com. Ayaz Memon, senior journalist. Rahul Mehra has been fighting a case against the BCCI for accountability in the Supreme Court for a long time now. Jaywant Lele, former secretary of the BCCI, and Shailendra Singh, who's joint MD of Percept. We have a full house tonight. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on that debate. But before that, here's a little bit of the allegations which are only getting murkier between Mr. Minister and Mr. IPL Chairman.
The unexpected success of the Kerala consortium was apparently not acceptable to some interested parties. This has led to a number of public insinuations about the composition and ownership of the consortium and of my role in it.
All speculation, speculation, speculation.
I was in no position to influence the bid process, let alone its outcome. I did not grant any favors or benefits within the purview of my ministry.
Latest this morning I hear from a colleague of mine that Mr. Shashi Tharoor has approached them and said he would like their support to move the team to Abu Dhabi. I mean, I don't know which way they're going.
The real motive behind the public controversy that has been created around me is to make the Kochi team unviable and to assign this IPL franchise elsewhere than Kerala.
Irrespective of the hidden agendas of different people. We will not allow hidden agendas of people to derail our process.
It's unworthy of any member of this august house to imply that a reputed business professional and entrepreneur with a long track record of business success can, because of her gender, only be seen as a front for someone else.
No, I'm not. I gave out 4 names. It just so happened that Sunanda Pushkar is one name that has been linked and found out about. I'm sure the other name will come out sooner than later.
Irrespective of my personal relationships with any of the consortium members, I have not benefited, and I do not intend to benefit in any way financially from my association with the team now or at a later stage.
We won't allow Mr. Tharoor to try and shadow this up. Mr. Tharoor has a different agenda. His agenda will be shut down. Believe me.
Now, you know, the one thing that this country does not need is that kind of self-righteous indignation from two people who clearly have already been tainted. Our question tonight, first question goes to Sanjay Jha, founder of Cricket Next. Sanjay, tell me clearly, is this limited in your view to these two men, or is there a bigger scam?
Well, let me tell you something. I think Arnab, the central, shall we say, the origin of the entire story is the fact that Lalit Modi, as part of IPL, has probably made it a one-man autocratic show. And in reality, if you look at the entire attitude and demeanor that Lalit Modi has shown, even today, despite having gone through an income tax raid yesterday, both IPL, BCCI and multiple offices, there is still a lot of arrogant attitude that
What's
you can
the basis
see.
of that arrogance? Unless he believes that somebody is still going to protect him.
Well, I can tell you something for a fact here. If you look at the entire scam at the moment so far, I mean, why is it taking Lalit Modi so long? In fact, he's making casual accusations on an Abu Dhabi link on a friend who told him that. Why is he not disclosing the cross-holding in different IPL franchises? Why is he not coming categorical and clear as to does he have a stake in Rajasthan Royals or Kings 11 Punjab or KKR directly or indirectly? There is, at the moment, IPL does not need to sit for 10 days.
The question is only about two teams. I'm just...
Basically, Arnab, I think the story is that the IPL needs to come through clean. So far, what Lalit Modi is doing is he's diverting the entire issue to Shashi Tharoor, and in my opinion, categorically, what it establishes is IPL does not just have skeletons in the cupboard; it's like a walk-in closet.
Well, I think that's very well said. That Swapan Dasgupta, is this limited to two men? And do you believe what's going on in Dharamshala now? That you know those who are in a way should be part of the accused for allowing IPL to run like this are sitting as judges on Lalit Modi.
Look, Arnab, I think that it's quite a difficult subject to address in a sort of yes or no manner. But what's important to note is that prior to this auction, which was held, which resulted in Rendezvous and Sahara winning the bid, there was another auction, which the wise men of the BCCI, in their wisdom, decided was flawed, null and void, and therefore ruled it out. We wish to know, I think, as a private body which fulfills a public function, I think it is necessary for the people like the BCCI to actually let us know what was in that auction which raised suspicion and which caused it to be overruled. Because I think you will get the root of the problem there. Was there an attempted rigging in the past? Which was later glossed over. Secondly, the point is, were there threats made by certain people, not so much to change the venue of Kochi to Ahmedabad? I think that's barking up the wrong tree, because once Kochi was settled, it was settled. But whether someone should divest their holdings and allow another new lot of franchisees to come into Kochi. These are public accusations which have been made. Which is the names of other ministers have been raised. Other cabinet ministers have been raised.
That's true.
Names of a political party has been made.
That's true.
So, the point is, but at the same time, we have to be cautious that in making all these allegations and demanding answers, we don't necessarily precipitate and trigger a government takeover, which is really something which is worse.
But you know, Swapan Dasgupta, the question is there tonight that there is a cover-up going on. We're saying tonight on Times Now, there is a beautiful cover-up going on. Ayaz, where Lalit Modi is being presented. Of course Lalit Modi is tainted. Of course he's carried out some scams underneath. But Lalit Modi is being presented as this untamed monster of Indian cricket, you know, with Shashi Tharoor as his fallen out accomplice, and everybody else around him says, you know, just let's sort out these two guys so that our faces are not blackened. Am I right or wrong, Ayaz, in that?
No, I think it's being reduced to a very simplistic kind of a situation or a scenario now, that one guy is black or the other is white, depending on which way you want to see it. I think it's important to remember is that whoever the two new franchisees, they entered into the fray knowing full well how the IPL was functioning, or at least broadly understanding how it was functioning and seeing still some value in it to get into it.
I think it's been a clash of personalities. I think it's been a, there's a whole perception about who's done what. There are two sides to it, both sides. But I think at the end of the day, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, now the IPL is rubbish and just dismantle it or destroy it.
Ayaz, I'm not suggesting that. But the question, it's a broader question. Let me put that to you, Shailendra. Broader question is, there are so many people in the board.
Correct.
This is going on for so long. Because of political patronage, it's been covered up so far. Now two men fight and it all comes tumbling down. Yeah. Then the rest of the people come together and say, you know what, let's sort out these two men and somehow make sure, whether I'm a politician, whether I'm in a BCCI, whether I'm ex-BCCI, somehow make sure that my name is not dragged into this. Isn't that exactly what's going on?
I think so. I agree with you, Arnab. But I think the larger issue here, I think, goes beyond the debate, and you're so spot on tonight.
Now, I want to be specific.
Yeah, it's not about these two people, but it is about the nation actually. What makes IPL successful? Not Lalit Modi, not BCCI. It is the Aam Aadmi. It's the common people who are actually putting in money, buying tickets, increasing viewerships every day, and it's also about national pride. The whole world must be having a laugh, at India today, okay, watching this scenario and possibly not understanding that why a nation which has finally got a property like IPL, which is making India proud worldwide, the government is not protecting the stance of IPL per se. I mean, for God's sake, it's become a battle between two people. I think the issue is BCCI accountable for this fiasco to the common man of India?
No, I think the question also is, will the politicians please finally get out of this whole business? You need an independent, you need Mr. Lele. Let me just get Mr. Lele in, because Mr. Lele has been secretary of the BCCI for so long. You know what's been going on. What has been going on, Mr. Lele, so far? We never knew that there was so much dirt. Why? Mr. Lele?
Yes?
We never knew there was so much dirt, so much greed. You know this?
I can only say that whatever is going on is not cricket. There is no transparency, and everybody is trying to only blackmail others. Nothing, there is no straight away, and in my 10 years of in the BCCI as the joint secretary and the secretary, never ever such things have happened. Everything was very transparent.
Okay.
We had our contracts with TWI, Prasar Bharati, Pepsi, and everything was transparent.
Rahul Mehra seems to want to say something to you. Yes, Rahul, go ahead.
Arnab, nothing can be further than the truth. What Mr. Lele is saying is all crap. And let me just say this much, that I'm grateful to you that after 5 guests, I finally get an opportunity on your show. Come on, Mr. Lele should remember that he was working under Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia, and that was an autocratic regime. That was a regime which was full of filth, full of dirt. It was completely non-transparent. It was completely not accountable to any citizen of this country, which is what forced me, an Indian after 70 years getting up, forced to go to the court of law. And I got there, I made life actually hell for each one of them. Mr. Lele is one of those individuals who has, when India toured Australia in 99-2000, he professed that India is going to lose 3-0, and that is exactly what happened. And subsequently the match fixing came up. So let him not take a political brownie point out here because he's sitting in the opposition today.
No, that's a big charge you're making.
What he's talking about.
No, what's your big...
As far as the debate is concerned, Arnab, today we should be actually really grateful to one man, and that is Mr. Lalit Modi, to have sent that tweet out. I am grateful to him, and I thank him from entire diaspora of Indian public, because had he not done so, this entire dirt, this entire filth wouldn't have been exposed. Simply, the question is, there is a court order in my petition PIL, which I had filed in 2000, October 4th of 2004. There is a judgment which has been upheld by the Supreme Court, which becomes the law of the land, that BCCI, though a private body, is performing functions which are akin to state functions, and is accountable and responsible to every citizen of this country.
Absolutely.
Now let them not...
Your views are being echoed, Rahul.
Brush it under the carpet.
Your views are being echoed, Rahul. Sanjay Jha, go on.
Yes. Arnab, if I can come in here, I think...
Just let me complete.
Okay.
Just let me complete one more thing. A wizard like Mr. Modi, in 3 months, puts up an entire beautiful world event like IPL, and BCCI takes 3.5 years to even have their website and if you go to their official website, it says under construction. They spend millions of rands on educating South Africans. They don't give a penny to the Indians, to the Aam Aadmi, to the people who have made BCCI and fill up the coffers of BCCI the way they are.
Why is Sharad Pawar
absolutely utter rubbish? It is nonsense.
Why is Sharad Pawar backing Lalit Modi so blindly then? That's just one of the questions which needs to be asked, Sanjay.
Arnab, let me tell you something. In this particular, now that this episode has really escalated into a major national crisis, I think it's the responsibility of all stakeholders, particularly people like us in the media, and I completely agree with Rahul, is to question what is Sharad Pawar doing as head of, future head of ICC, and whatever he's done in MCA and BCCI. Why do you have Narendra Modi in the Gujarat Cricket Board? What is Ladu Yadav doing in the Bihar Cricket Board? Why do you have Farooq Abdullah? Why do you need all politicians across?
Because this is about influence.
I know, absolutely.
This is about influence. Swapan Das Gupta, this is about influence, isn't it? We will never in this country see.
Yes.
Go on, Swapan Das Gupta.
Yes, it is about influence. It is about influence. It's quite clear that it's about influence. And I think that's one of the reasons why Mr. Tharoor tried to jump into the fray, because he was trying to ensure a degree of political protection for the Kochi IPL franchisees against the, to countervail the pressure which had been imposed on by some other bidders. So there is the reality of politics. There is the unofficial control of politicians over cricket. The question really is, we must make sure how this can be eased out without necessarily drawing the state in. And that's really the point I want to emphasize all over again, that we are getting ourselves into a situation in this tutu meme game that whereby the government gets the pretext and the opportunity to intervene. They tried that once before during the time of Jagmohan Dalmia, and I don't want.
But I would like to ask.
Okay, Swapan Das Gupta, you're being rebutted by Sanjay Jha. Quickly.
I would like Swapnil to explain just one point. Why doesn't he ensure, since he is very close to the BJP, that what is Arun Jaitley doing in the DCA? I mean, what is Arun Jaitley doing?
Answer the question. Will the BCCI, will the politicians allow a professional, professionally run regulator? That's the question. Yes, Ayaz. Ayaz wants to come in. Go in on that. Okay, Swapan.
Arnab, I flew in from Hyderabad to Delhi today, and I was reading the Deccan Chronicle. The front page story there, the Deccan Chargers have put out their stakeholding, whoever owns what in their franchise. I think that's a very strong show of saying we are interested in the game, we are here for the long haul, and this is our shareholding pattern. I would say that all other franchises who are involved in the IPL I think there is a strong need for transparency, but you don't need to demolish the IPL or whatever. This could be a clash of personalities which has precipitated into this major controversy.
No, because the BCCI,
it's become a melee. They were looking for an opportunity to get into this, whether it's the BJP or whoever else.
Swapan Das Gupta is saying, let's not get the government in. Swapan Das Gupta may equally be argued that the BCCI is already quasi-government. There are politicians of every view. It's like the United Front in a way of politicians.
You can call it United Front, but it is still a private body which fulfills a public function.
Cosmetically.
And it is to ensure that its transparency, its accountability is enhanced. That is really what the emphasis must be. Today the IPL consists of people who are primarily not politicians. The Deccan Chargers is owned by a group which doesn't have anything to do, or at least overtly to do with politics. So does Chennai.
I just want to make a point, Arnab. I think this is a great moment. It started from the issue of transparency. It's actually, all the discussions today are about transparency, okay? And my concern is that, for God's sake, they're really lucky because some serious heavyweights from the corporate world own the teams. So they're not getting shaky so fast. But my concern is that in this fiasco, if the government does not regulate the current environment and get the transparency out, if we land up losing the viewer, the consumer, if consumer loses faith, if he loses faith, you lose.
Why? The government did not create the consumer.
Or no, can I?
The government did not create the consumer. When it was under a quasi-government regulation, the cricket was at
hold on. Therefore, the major question today is cricket a national sport, or is it a sport that belongs to a independent body? That's the big issue. If it is a national sport, I mean, then there are major concerns with the government.
Yes, Rahul.
On the real question today is, which needs to be answered, is that BCCI as a so-called private body is actually discharging public functions. It is a body which takes largesses from the state. Thousands worth of crores of rupees of stadiums are being provided to it free of cost at largesses, which are being subleased to these private entrepreneurs. And on the top of it, they are not accountable, they are non-transparent, and they get income tax, entertainment tax benefits from the government worth thousands of crores. All this under the garb of the Income Tax Act clearly specifies that unless and until you are flowing back 80% of your profits back into the development and the promotion of the game, nothing at all can happen. So now the issue is, I put this question to BCCI authorities. What have they done in the last 3 years since IPL has come for the Aam Aadmi? I have visited stadiums and I have seen people, you know, there is no free clean drinking water. There is absolutely, the food which is provided is stale at exorbitant prices. The tickets are touching the roof. The fans who goes with his family.
I don't know. I mean, Mr. Mehra is obviously
senior citizens. They do not get the seats they want to sit on.
I want to bring the focus back, Mr. Mehra. Mr. Mehra, Mr. Mehra, allow me. Mr. Mehra, allow me. I am bringing the focus back. Focus is this tonight. We, the people of India, are expected to believe that a 5,000 crore enterprise is suddenly spoilt by one little naive and possibly tainted minister and one little monster who went crazy over the last 3 years after IPL, and everybody else has no dirt on their hands. I mean, that's the absurdity of this all.
Arnav, if I can point out, I think this is an absolutely apposite opportunity for all of us. I think everybody who is part of this debate today on television and millions outside, this is the time for cleansing. I think the mistake that we have made in the past is every time we have had a scam or some kind of a trouble, we have allowed a compromise to happen, things die out and some kind of negotiation happen.
Quite compromise.
Exactly. This time we need to take it down to the logical conclusion, and whoever is culprit must be absolutely asked to go out of the entire system.
Well, I think as long as it's not limited to 2 people. Yes, I ask.
I think that includes...
Yes.
Arnav,
that should also include cricketers.
Absolutely. Absolutely, why not?
Look, Arnav, I think we are just getting into a very wide-ranging kind of a discussion.
I can't believe
it's about